Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. My name is Nufari binti Jamsari Muhammad. My matric number is 259034. So I am a leader for group 2, which is group Sunflower. So today my group will present about strategy audit. So for the company that we choose is Sunsuria Berhad. Okay, before we start the presentation, let me introduce my group members. So for the first presenter, we have Nur Shazwani binti Muhammad Sharkawi, 265723, and she will present about the company financial analysis and company development. So next we have Nazirah binti Muhammad Kasim, 265729, and she will present about the introduction, company profile, and also conclusion. Next we have Nufari binti Jamsari Muhammad, 259034, which is me, and I will present about the step analysis, part of SWOT analysis, and also EFAS. Next we have Nur Hidayah binti Hasanuddin, 268028, and she will present about the tones analysis and also recommendation. And the last is Nurul Jannah binti Mahaziri, 265685, and she will present Porter's analysis, part of SWOT analysis, and also IFAS. So for our presentation of table of content, the first one is introduction, then corporate profile, financial analysis, recent company development, step analysis, 5 quarters analysis, SWOT analysis, IFAS and EFAS, tones material analysis, recommendation. The last one is conclusion.
My name is Nazira binti Muhammad Kasim, so I will present about introduction and also company profile. So the aim of this report or presentation is to conduct a strategic audit on Sunsuria Berhad in order to better understand how it makes business decisions and analysis of the external and internal environments in which their work will be performed. SWOT analysis, Porter's 5 Force model, and tone matrix will be used to learn more about the internal and external environments. Aside from that, we will dive deeper into strategic formulation and identify recommended strategy alternatives that will help Sunsuria Berhad fit into the strategy orientations so that they can continuously grow and perform better in the industry. Founder and the owner of Sunsuria Group is Tan Sri Datuk Ter Leong Yap. This company was established in 1989. He began developing various residential, commercial, and industrial property projects in Klang Valley. As you can see in the picture, Sunsuria has begun construction on a 525-acre flagship development called Sunsuria City in Salak Tinggi, Putrajaya South. Smart, livable, sustainable are the guiding principles for the development. So Sunsuria has grown from strength to strength, taking a new challenge as their expertise grow. Sunsuria as a community-focused, growth-oriented, and value-oriented developer that places reliability at the core of its operations and will continue to create more value for its stakeholders, particularly their customers. The company has been received many kind of awards and recognition starting at year 2016, where the company got Malaysian People's Choice Award and Property Insights Best Sustainable Township Development. The company has earned recognition as one of Malaysia's leading property developers over the years, also being named one of the 15 Malaysian companies in Forbes Asia Best Under a Billion 2020. As you can see in this slide is the recent awards that have been achieved by the company in 2020, which is CIDB Class 6 2020 High Achievement, High Rise Residential Development, the Olive at Sunsuria City, the Honor Award for Landscape Design Professional category for Surya Residence at the Malaysia Landscape Architecture Awards 2020. As you can see here, this is the logos of Sunsuria Berhad. Sunsuria building today, creating tomorrow. And there is a vision and also missions of the company, where the vision is to be a progressive corporation which they can take pride in, one that is valued and respected by all their stakeholders. And their mission is to engage and delight their customers by delivering a distinctly Sunsuria experience of service, excellence, and warmth through a culture of integrity, quality, and reliability. And their business segments, actually, Sunsuria is an investment holding company based in Malaysia. The company is development, construction, and investment holding company, and others. The company's property development segment is involved in the development of commercial and residential properties. Sunsuria has grown into a multifaceted and well-established publicly traded property developer, diversifying into constructions, landscape and nursery, food and beverage, digital developments, education, integrated healthcare, retails, and other complementary business and joint ventures. Director of the company, first Tan Sri Dato' Ter Leong Yep as the Executive Chairman. Next, Tan Pei Gyo, a Senior Independent Non-Executive Director. And next is Dato' Kwek Ni Meng, Independent Non-Executive. And the last one is Datin Luo Biha, Independent Non-Executive Director. Management team of Sunsuria Berhad, starting from Tan Sri Dato' Ter Leong Yep as the Executive Chairman, Chua Chiu Hei, Chief Executive Officer, Sunsuria Asas Sunsuria Berhad, and Dato' Tan Tiang Ning, Chief Executive Officer, Sitik Sunsuria Sunsuria Berhad, Lee Siu Kiang, Chief Financial Officer, Dato' Simon Kwang Hung Wai as the Chief Operating Officer, and the last one is the Wang Chiu Meng as the Chief Project Officer. Structures. Sunsuria Berhad is made of many subsidiaries offering specialties and expertise in many areas related to the developments and more. As you can see in the table, they have three business division here. The first one is property developments under Sunsuria Safety and Sunsuria Forum Sunsuria Berhad. Here's the name of projects. They have 5: Bell Suite Soho, Retail, The Olive, Manet Lily, Manet Garden, Manet Springtime. Second is construction under Sunsuria Asas Sunsuria Berhad. They have 2: Forum 2 Office and Forum 2 Soho. And the third one is food and beverage F&B under Sunsuria City Amenities Sunsuria Berhad. At the name of restaurant is Double Happiness at Forum 1, Atelier Cafe at Forum 1, and Min Yang at Forum 1.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shazwani binti Muhammad Syarkawi. My matric number 2C5723, and I will be explains about the financial analysis of the Sunsuria Berhad. The first financial analysis is gross margin. Based on 3-year shows, Sunsuria did better in 2018 than other years in terms of managing the cost of sales and generating the gross profit. It shows that Sunsuria has more to cover for operating, financings, and other costs. Generally, the higher the profit margins is the most better. The second financial analysis is operating margins. Sunsuria has shows a more stable on year 2018 because the operating margin is quite higher compared to the other years. This shows that Sunsuria Berhad is making enough money from its ongoing operation to pay for its variable costs as well as its fixed costs. The third financial analysis is pre-tax margins. Pre-tax margin on 2019 is higher than the other years. It means that the highest pre-tax margin is most desirable and indicative of Sunsuria ability to keep operating costs low on that year. Return on asset. In year 2018, the ratio is 9.40%. In other words, every dollar that Sunsuria invests during the years produce RM 0.094 of net income. Meanwhile, the years in 2018, the ratio is 9.5%, means that every dollar that Sunsuria invests in asset during the year produce RM0.095 of net income. Lastly, the ratio in 2020, which is 1.7%, means that every dollar that Sunsuria invests in asset during the years produce RM0.017 of net income. Based on the following 3 years, this year's 2019 has showed the higher profits of Sunsuria asset in generating revenue compared to other 2 years, because Sunsuria has earning more money on less investment. However, return on asset over 5% are generally considered good. Return on equity. It shows that in year 2018, Sunsuria generate RM0.139 of profit for every RM1 ringgit of stockholder equity, giving the stock of ROE is 1.3%. In year 2019, Sunsuria generate RM0.1384 of profit for every RM1 ringgit of stockholder equity, giving the stock of ROE is 13.84%. Meanwhile, in year 2020, Sunsuria generate RM0.0247 of profit for every RM1 ringgit of stockholder equity, giving the stock of ROE is 2.47. Financial ratio reasons. Based on analysis, Sunsuria was performed well, which is the financial performance was increased from 2018 to 2019, but a little bit decreased for 2019 to 2020. Overall, year 2019 is the best compared to the year 2018 and the years 2020 in terms of financial performance. Basically, Sunsuria Berhad able to increase revenue from year 2018 to 2019, even though drop in year 2020. The increased revenue in 2019 is due to the better earning in development project such as Soho and Retail, Monet Lily and the Olive has achieved a higher percentage of food completions. Whilst in years 2020, revenue dropped due to the pandemic and MCO that occurred in Malaysia, which have a negative impact on the financial year performance in 2020. Sunsuria aware of the inherent risk posed by the possibility of another COVID-19 infections. As a result, the company has been cautious about launching new projects. Recent development at Sunsuria Berhad. Sunsuria Berhad places a high value on long-term growth and sustainability. They believe that by acting now, they can focus for the future. They are making numerous efforts to establish performance based on procedure as well as the good governance in order to exceed customer satisfactions. As the result, Sunsuria have some ongoing projects such as Monet Springtime, Monet Gardens, Given Walk and Tenggiri Suite at Sunsuria City, as well as the forums of 2 mixed developments at Seti Alam. Next is the new project of Sunsuria, such as Bangsa Hill Park in Lorong Ma'aruf and Nadi Tar in Kuala Lumpur, which is presently under construction. Sunsuria plans to construct a new residential project named Bangsa Hill Park in Bangsa, Kuala Lumpur, where Bangsa Hill Park will have 8 residential blocks spread over nearly 4 hectares, all planned with the urban resort in their minds. Lastly, in construction in the second half 2021, there are 2 plots of land along Lorong Tuanku Abdul Rahman in Kuala Lumpur. Sunsuria will build Nadi at Tar. Sunsuria aims to develop the land into the high-rise mixed-use project under the SSPA according to the company.
Okay, next I will present about the STEP analysis. STEP is short form of from the social, culture, technology, economy, ecology, and also politics. So, what is STEP analysis? STEP analysis assesses how the external environment will affect the company's strategic plan while allowing it to stay competitive. STEP provide insight into the past, present, and future amid times of ambiguity. information overload, and disorganization. Business need time in making decisions, so it's not simple and super fast can be made. Using step analysis, business may gain a deep understanding of how external influence trends. The outcome of step will forecast what will happen in the future and how the market will respond to change in certain parts. So first, let's talk about social culture. Social culture is the study of society and trend in order to minimize negative consequences in strategic planning. The culture of a society has an influence on the culture of an organization. The population share view and attitude play a significant part in how marketers perceive the customer of a specific market and build marketing message for real estate sector consumer. The demographic and skill level of the people, class structure, hierarchy, and power structure in society are all social elements that Sunsuria Berhad leadership should consider. To avoid a detrimental influence on the strategic business strategy, the group must examine the education level as well as the education standard in the company's internal environment. As a result, corporate social responsibility (CSR) is viewed as a strategic method to mitigating negative external environment consequences. So next is technological. Sunsuria Berhad must monitor and measure how technological development in the environment affect the company's service development plans. Technology is quickly influencing a wide number of industries. Companies should do not just a technological research of the industry, but also need to speed study of how rapidly technology influences that company. Technology analysis entails comprehending current new technical advancement as well as the influence of technology on product offering. Sunsuria Berhad information security must be prioritized by the company's IT management to safeguard access company application and also data from the cyber security risk, data security and data protection are necessary. The group is required to demonstrate a data backup plan as well as recovery procedure. Sunsuria Berhad, as we know, implements sustainability, thus Sunsuria Berhad must intervene in creating and implementing technologies, intellectual property and strategies to speed the sustainability transitions. So for the economy, we can see that Sunsuria Berhad can run its business by utilizing economic factors such as the country growth rate, inflation, and industry economic indicators. Customer reaction will be influenced by economic development, and the group must ensure that the company's strategy remains competitive. Sunsuria Berhad must comprehend how the economic system works and how stable it is. Property marketing modeling is an attempt to comprehend the behavior of the property market. The dynamic behavior of the property market might be studied by creating models that depict the changes that occur in each sector. The theoretical concept of the property market provides a framework for the development of a property market model. So next is ecology. Various markets have different norms or environmental requirements, which might have an influence on an organization's profitability in those markets. As for Sunsuria Berhad, ecology analysis is very important aspect that needs to consider due to doing developing property that related to environmental issue. All the law related to ecology environment needs to know and follow. For instance, environmental pollution legislation such as air and water pollution legislation, waste management, and attitude toward green or ecological product. All this needs to be considered in planning business for future due to avoid of climate change or other effect on our environment. Other things that need to be considered is recycling and waste management in developing sustainability. Also attitude toward and support for renewable energy. Based on my reading on Sunsuria Berhad company report, Sunsuria are towards to sustainability development. This is good attitudes that needs to keep sustained and improving in other project property. Before entering new market or launching a new business in an existing market, the group should truly assess the environmental criteria that are necessary for commercial operation. Some of the environmental considerations that the group should address ahead of time include such as examination ecological environments to prevent penalties and loss of operation right. Okay, lastly, political. When constructing property, Sunsuria Berhad must concrete the political and legal environment of Malaysian country and region. Political issues have an important part in defining the aspect that might influence property development and long-term profitability in the market. Political stability is important because it will affect on economic stability. When economy is in instability situation, it will make the market in worse condition. All this will impact on the investment and profitability.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurjana binti Mahaziri and my matric number is 265685. Okay, today I'll be proceed the presentation with the Porter's 5 forces analysis tools. Okay, Porter's 5 force model, which covers the rivalry among present rivals, new entrant problems, vendor and customer influence and alternative goods and services, is based on the concept that the business approach should meet external opportunities and challenges. The strategy's purpose, according to Porter, is to comprehend and manage a competitive landscape by focusing on competitors or taking a large view that competes with the organization. The importance of Porter's 5 traits today, as well as its applicability as managers address creativity and transition, are outlined and discussed. In addition, there will be a comparison of alternative methods to the 5 Porter's power. Okay, the first one is the threat of new entrants. The threat of new entrants is actually low because real estate developers starting capital is relatively expensive, especially when dealing with various categories ranging from light industry to commercial and residential units. It's difficult to large corporations or organizations to just go out and generate high quality, innovative, high value assets in a variety of sectors, from light industrial to commercial and residential. A corporation or organization will need essential permits and registrations in order to join the market, in addition to registering an agency in a local country. It requires a big sum of money and a long period of time to achieve economies of scale or a return on new entrants' original investment, because there are many distinct types and scales of development, each with its own set of entry obstacles. There are still opportunities. However, gaining brand loyalty for a new operator would be challenging, especially in property development, where huge firms or titans have already established headquarters in each state. It would be costly for a new company to enter the market and undermine the brand loyalty maintained by this property developer behemoths. Okay, the next one is high rivalry among existing competitors. Malaysia's property developers are fiercely competitive, which is good for the market, but the growing market has slowed in this pandemic era, and enterprises can only develop by stealing market share from one to another, resulting in increasing competition. There is a lot of competitive rivalry right now. While Sunsuria appears to be one of the competition's leader, market's followers are not far behind. Apart from the major players, there are numerous property developers such as EcoWorld Mainland, Sunway BHD, SP Setia, Mustang Group, and etc. As a result of their great owners, all the competitors enjoy strong industry marketing shares and brand loyalty, because they build their firm foundation in a strategic location, have vast asset and list of targeted clients. Their exit obstacles are rather high, because a land is a land. The intensity of rivalry is strong, it's permanent and requires a lot of food to get rid of it. So demolitions, on the other hand, are rarely aimed at burgeoning cities, but rather toward undeveloped areas. They supply essentially equal product differentiation, making them close alternatives for one another. Due to the similarities, purchases concentrated on the price, and the management team tried but failed to figure out the best options, such as investment, facilities, and a recreational park. This is due to the other players' imitation, which forces the case to back to price competition. Furthermore, supply and demand are incompatible and do not work together. Income levels and economic growth generate demand for new real estate development or property, although economic growth is slowing rather than expanding. Okay. In addition, the trade-off substitute. Substitute here represent almost no threat to the property industry because there is no other sector that can grow at the same rate as the property sector. However, given how the business has been defined, this is a low risk hazard in general. Renting rather than buying is another potential substitute, but this does not appear to be an option at the upper end of the luxury market. In Malaysia, residential real estate or property is in high demand for both accommodation and investment. It's crucial to keep in mind that while designing a new property or home, that it could be replaced by current product from another development or a present home for a sale or rent. The product can be differentiated on 3 levels: location, type, and quality. The developer with the most generic product has a higher substitutability, whereas the one who differentiates has the best chances of succeeding. Securing a location with convenient traffic and transportation with lessen the likelihood of substitution. To avoid value depreciation, long-term utilities must be high quality and well maintained. Okay, the next one is bargaining power of buyers. Bargaining power of buyers here changes because it looks to be fairly strong right now because there appear to be more ultra high-end properties and buyers, as well as the economy's fluctuation caused by the epidemic. The items are all the same and switching is too expensive. Due to the current economic climate, the public will seek out developers with a proven track record. And because property rates are too high, sellers will refuse to lower the price, leaving the property sector cash-strapped. As a result, builders must use special offers and discounts to entice purchasers. The obvious challenge in analyzing a sector like the development and sale of ultra high and luxury dwellings, which exhibits the risk of reward perspective, is selling the product in the future when we have no idea what buyers' bargaining power will be. Even if there were a scarcity of luxury high-end residences, Sunsuria would have to assume bargaining power. To be safe, Sunsuria must presume that purchasers' negotiating power is great, even when it isn't. Even when luxury high-end flats are scarce. Okay, the next one is bargaining power of suppliers. Land sellers, construction contractors, building materials or house furnishing, and corporate workers are among the primary suppliers with whom developers have great bargaining leverage. Each supplier pays the developer 3 times its cost to get the right land or site for the business, avoid auctions, and instead engage in direct bilateral talks with a third party or the government. Because it signals addition developers and investors to participate. Development in a smaller city provides more revenues and power for the developer. Suppliers with limited resources or critical inputs have a lot of negotiating leverage because there is a limited quantity of available land in Kuala Lumpur. For example, the developer of government frequently demolishes the village area to protect the site. However, once the land is offered for sale, the provider acquires enormous bargaining power, allowing them to take the advantage of eager buyers. So when it comes to building suppliers don't have much negotiating strength. Instead, they give customer extra incentives such as discounts. So when a developer picks this important provider, they have a low switching cost, putting pressure on the supplier to supply them with the best value and quality. Finally, actually Sunsuria's negotiating power with suppliers will always be limited as long as it meets the following criteria: multiple supplier availability, minimal switching costs, no reliance on any single source or crucial inputs. Okay, we proceed to the SWOT analysis. Okay, for this SWOT analysis, there are few for the SWOT analysis, I'll be presenting about the strengths and the weakness of Sunsuria. Okay, starting with the strengths of the Sunsuria. Okay, the first one is leadership positions. Sunsuria is actually led by highly skilled and experienced individual. Tan Sri Datuk Ter Leong Yap's profile states that he has a wealth of experience, determination, and an impeccable track record in both property development and education. Furthermore, he has been in this field for roughly 32 years, which is significant amount of time, and his talents and expertise made him deserving of leadership. One of Sansuria's most valued advantages is his invaluable experience. As a result, he values employees' performance highly, believing that it is the cornerstone to a company's success. The qualifications, backgrounds, and accomplishments of the other members of the board of directors are similarly truly documented. Engineering, economics, accounting, and law are among the subjects in which the board of directors and senior management are well versed. Okay, the next one is experienced and highly skilled workforce. According to the FRB 2020 annual report, in order to maintain superiority, Sunsuria has been trying to improve the critical leadership characteristic required in every function and career. Sunsuria makes significant investment in employee training and development, resulting in a workforce that is not just highly competent but also highly motivated. Sunsuria is a corporation that places a strong emphasis on quality, and one of its quality control tactics is to rely on its staff. Sunsuria thinks that having highly qualified people in specialized sectors is essential to its success. As a result, Sunsuria invested in its employee talent and capabilities prior to the Movement Control Order (MCO), with the Human Resources Department offering online training classes and webinars, enabling Sunsuria to upskill professionally throughout the year. They also provide virtual health and wellness activities for employees to be active and engaged in order to help motivate them, increase their staff capacity, and surprisingly, resulting in improve their performance. Next one is robust market positions strengthens investor confidence. Okay. Sunsuria has not only established itself as one of Malaysia's leading property developer, but they also had some significant successes up to 2020, such as being listed as one of the 15 Malaysian companies in the Forbes Asia's Best under $1 billion 2020, CIDB Classic 2020 High Achievement High Rise Residential Development, the Olive at Sunsuria City, the Honor Award for Landscape Design Professional category for Sunsuria residents at the Malaysia Landscape Architecture Awards 2020, and etc. The success of the Sunsuria firm has helped to enhance the company's portfolio and may tempt investors to invest. It indirectly boosts its market position and attract investor. Investor will be more inclined and confidence to invest in company that has strong track record as indicated by awards and achievements. It will also have more fit in company business. It will be more because they will be more. The investor will be able to estimate profit margins more accurately as a result of the investment. Next is community connections. Okay. Being part of a community has been shown to boost one's mental and emotional well-being. Participating in the community activities develop a sense of belonging and social connection. It also gives daily meaning and purpose. Sunsuria's heritage includes the formation of lively and healthy community, where many community members participate in and champion various events for social growth. This entails actively engaging with communities in order to foster a culture of social responsibility. As a result, events such as Circle of Life, Work Food Day, Kids Carnival, Charity Book Lunch, program kejayaan jati diri, anak harapan Sepang, and etc. are held. Besides, Sunsuria has also donated up to 785,835 ringgit to 5 cents to charity during FY 2020 in order to foster good community relations. Okay, proceed to the weakness. Sunsuria have a weak financial performance. Sunsuria has a weak financial performance, which it actually could impact the shareholders' value. We have faced considerable revenue losses in FY 2020 as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, with sales only increasing in the fourth quarter. Things like this can have a negative impact on an organization's portfolio, causing investors, shareholders, and stakeholders to feel anxious and potentially withdraw from the company. So, financial performance flaws must be avoided because they reflect the organization's business planning as well as its crisis readiness, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. Assuming that organizations are less prepared in the face of big disaster like the COVID-19 pandemic as a result of a poor financial performance at the start of the year, during the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic and the start of the governance movement control order. Okay, that's all for the strengths and the weakness in this SWOT analysis.
Okay, so for opportunities are elements in a company external environment that allow it to develop and implement profit-boosting initiatives. So for the first opportunities is marketing. YouTube, Twitter, and other websites serve as platform for the promotion of product and service marketing. According to Hashim 2021, marketing on social media platform aids in the development of a brand, improve quality performance, and boost customer and sales. Thus, the use of social network marketing to sell items may improve a company's overall commercial success. One of the initiatives that Sunsuria Berhad have provided in company website is chatbot, which function as auto-answering tool in website to provide sales information to the public, such as customers, suppliers, and communities. So for the second opportunities is implementing sustainability. For your information, Sunsuria Berhad progress is in business sustainability journey. Highlight of year 2020 report include expanding company reporting scope to include the landscape and nursery division, reviewing company material matters from the previous year and reassess them, and introducing key performance indicator KPIs to monitor company sustainability performance. Sunsuria Berhad committed to sustainable development, inspired by the 17 Sustainable Development Goals (SDG) introduced by the United Nations under Agenda 2030. As a group, they have identified 5 SDG that are most aligned to company vision to develop a business that is economically, environmentally, and socially sustainable. So for the third opportunity is digital involvement. Going digital presents the group with many benefits such as improved stakeholder communication, optimal operational efficiency, wider reach to customer through digital channel, and more timely engagement with customer via company mobile apps. Vacant position and defect management were made accessible for customer via the Sunsuria Moments mobile apps, while salesperson could manage customer on the move using a mobile customer relationship CRM management apps. A chatbot using artificial intelligence was introduced to the Sunsuria website to provide sales and leasing information to the public. So for the last opportunity is relationship with vendor and joint venture. Sunsuria, recognizing that health is wealth, the group venture into the healthcare business via a joint venture with Dr. Tan Boren, owner of Boren Healthcare, a homegrown group of healthcare providers that provide luxury medical care, ranging from aesthetic, dentistry, and general medical to postpartum confinement care. Sunsuria believes that the strategic partnership will provide company customers the convenience of having quality healthcare available right at their doorstep. The year 2020 saw the group embarking on corporate initiatives to achieve healthy and sustainable long-term business growth. So next, let's talk about threats. Threats are elements in the external environment that might endanger the business integrity and profitability. Threats are obstacles that can have a substantial influence on the success of property development. So for the first threat is marketplace condition. Marketplace analysis are addressed by the proposed business, service or product. Property markets go through cycles, and a developer must ensure that he has a solid strategic plan in place as well as a true market strategy. For the second threat is economic instability. The group profit and revenue are susceptible to the risk posed by global and local economic conditions, as well as the problematic property market sector impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Financial year 2020 has been a challenging year for Sunsuria due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the Movement Control Order (MCO), which led to a slowdown in economic activities. So for the third threat is environmental and technology condition. Committed towards promoting green building initiative, the group implemented eco-friendly feature in development project to reduce the building overall environmental footprint. The digitalization of business operation has become increasingly important due to the impact of COVID-19, where social distancing is the new normal and employees were required to work from home during the MCO. Sunsuria needs to introduce several initiatives according to technology during MCO period to overcome COVID-19 pandemic among workers. So for the fourth threat is growing price of land, labor, and resources. The cost of a plot of land is one of the most significant components to the ultimate house price in Malaysia. The price of houses are doubled from 2008 to 2016. Any rises in land costs will undoubtedly reduce the developer's profit margin, so affecting the project feasibility. As a result, in order to reach the limited selling price, the developers must take advantage of lowering land costs while creating affordable housing. The rising of labor costs are burden to property developer if face rising in resources. The group must understand the type of resources necessary as well as the lead time required to guarantee that resources are accessible when needed. So for the last threat is regulation and compliance. The group's operations are governed by local government rules, laws, and regulation, as well as Securities Commission and listing requirements. As a result, the group should assess the influence of government regulations on the subject property, as well as how such restriction may affect its usage, development, and value.
Okay, we proceed to the internal factors analysis summary. As I presented before, I mentioned the strength and the weaknesses of Sunsuria, where the strength is leadership positions, experience and highly skilled workforce, robust market positions, strengthens investor confidence, and last one is community connections. So it shows here that the weight for age, Ashul, rating as well as weighted score, and the comment as well. Okay, starting with the first one is leadership positions, where the weight is 0.15, rating is 3.00, and weighted score is 0.45. So it's actually a quality key to success. The next one is experience and highly skilled workforce, where the weight is 0.25, rating is 4.00, weighted score is 1.00, and it's recommended as no appliances. And the next one is robust market position strengthens investor confidence. The weight is 0.1, rating is 2.00, rated score is 0.20, and common and name recognition. Name recognition here means the robust market position is actually helped the company or organization for their name recognition prior to the investor. The next one is community connections, where the weight is 0.3, rating is 5.00, weighted score is 1.50, and the comment here is quality key to success, same as the leadership positions. Okay, proceed to the weaknesses. The weight for the weak financial performance is 0.2, rating is 3.00, weighted score is 0.60, and the comment here is it has a poor financial management. As you can see here, the total score is 1 for the week, and weighted score is 3.75. Okay, that's all for the internal factor analysis summary.
So next is external factor analysis summary, E first. So for the E first, it's include with opportunity and threat. As I mentioned before, opportunity have 4, which is the first one is marketing. Second is implementing sustainability. Third is digital involvement. Fourth is relationship with vendor and joint venture. For the threat is the first one is marketplace conditions. Second, economic instability. Third, environmental and technology. Fourth, growing price of land, labor and resource. Fifth, regulatory and compliance. So for the total weight score indicate how well a particular company is responding to current and expected factor in its external environment. So the total weight score for an average firm in an industry is 3.0. From this table, we can see that the score of total weight is 3.45, meaning that the Sunsuria Berhad industry is slightly above average. So, based on total score above, we can see that Sunsuria Berhad are well in industry sector.
My name is Nur Hidayah binti Hasanuddin, metric number 268028. So I will continue with the TOS metric analysis. Okay, as we can see on the screen right now, there are the relationship and our recommendation based on the analyzing of the TOS analysis of Sunsuria Berhad. So from the analyzing of the different factor and this category of their internal environment factor of the strength and weakness with the external environment of the opportunities and the threats. For the strength of Sunsuria Berhad, as my friend explained before, they have first the leadership position and the experience and high skill. And also for the weakness of Sunsuria Berhad is their financial performance during this COVID-19 especially. And the second is the low demand. For the external factor of Sunsuria Berhad on their opportunities, first they have the implementing sustainability, and second they have the relationship with vendor and joint venture. For threats of Sunsuria Berhad, they have marketplace condition and the economic instability. So from this relationship, as we can see the trend and the opportunities, we will know that Sunsuria have high property developer in the variation of residential, have commercial and industrial on property project. So they have been growing by years to ensure a better value rates for its stakeholder and customer, especially in property expertise. So from the strength of the leadership background of the board of director and from all the committee, Sunsuria can use all this to expand their expertise, ideas, and gain experience and qualification to gain new opportunity on facing this economic impact affected of the pandemic COVID-19. And from the strengths and traits relationship, So Sunsuria can use this point to planning and avoid any potential threats. From the strength, they should be sustained and use the strength wisely to keep improving in every aspect they can, such as increase their employee skill and performance, build up engagement with new investor, create promoting and advertising. And also we can see the weakness and the opportunity relationship. So for this pandemic COVID-19 is hit the entire world and affected in many industries, especially for Sunsuria Berhad. So from this situation, to improve and survive, Sunsuria should use any of the opportunities to avoid the weakness as they improve the quality of services and maintaining any relationship engagement with their investor. And they also can look from the another side to identify any opportunities to gain and avoid the weakness to reduce any risk and problem. And from this strategy of the weakness and opportunities also can minimize the weakness by taking advantage of the Sunsuria opportunities. Next, for the relationship of the weakness and the traits. So in today's survival and high competitive environment, people are facing the challenge of paying workaholic and financial collapse from any factor, include this pandemic COVID-19 situation. So it will obstruct people from purchasing new house and gain any development industry. So everyone have their own priority to survive and defend from financial lacking. So Sunsuria will change the strategies on financial sustainability to face the low demand during this COVID-19. Sunsuria can observe and learn from the competitors to become a better company and minimize complaint offers from the low-cost development to their potential customer from this weakness and threat relationship. Okay, next we will see what our recommendation for Sunsuria Berhad. Our first recommendation is Sunsuria must increase the quality of property development project. So Sunsuria can build a strategy planning to increase their sales of property development according this pandemic survival. They can enter into purpose disposal of land, parcel sale and purchase agreement. As they increase the property, they will have their own asset, or for future they can expand its property development activities by the residential and development land spending, and by the variation of development and services. It also can maintain for Sunsuria to survive because they have many subsidiaries. And also for this strategy to increase their property development, Sunsuria can keep their relationship and improve their connection with their vendors, suppliers, and investors to make sure that what are their planning will go with as what they plan. So for the second recommendation is Sunsuria must maintain their employee performance. So as we can see, the strength of Sunsuria that they are headed by people that highly skilled and experienced in property development field, as the education fields and experiences in business. So from this point, Sunsuria can build all the employee performance by workforce skill, career development, training opportunities, even though they are by the online platform nowadays. For the third point, we recommend to Sunsuria to improve in their management and financial strategies. For enhance the value of their core property development business, this diversification need to add a unique value proposition and have a competitive advantage to their business. Sunsuria can restructure their company management and cut some of the operating costs by improving the management performance, quality of value in proposition, and Sunsuria also can create a large economic benefit of their sustaining business operation to be more efficient and sustainable, even though they are facing the pandemic of COVID-19. Okay, next, for the fourth point of our recommendation for Sunsuria is issuing new shares and investment. So for a company to maintaining their survival during this COVID-19 pandemic situation, Sunsuria can increase their new share and investor because Sunsuria have a good performance and high developing share among their subsidiaries. So from this issuance of new share, Sunsuria can increase their company equity to cover all the company expenses such as operating costs, managing costs, developing costs, and others. Next, for the fifth recommendation of Sunsuria is Sunsuria can build up their customer and community engagement because as we know that consumer are the priority in the industry and company cannot continue its business without customer support in order to have a long-standing relationship with consumer. So Sunsuria can build their consumer loyalty as add value to the market sustainable. So from this part, it can develop and nurturing long-term relationship based on trust that earn their brand preference, ambassador, and repeat business. As Sunsuria have been done before, they are promoting zero waste living by helping the poor and family welfare to support and relieve people. And at the same time, they have built the customer engagement on this situation. And the last point for Sunsuria recommendation is they can upgrade their marketing opportunities. So for doing a competitive analysis checking through Sunsuria product and services forward, they should analyze about the satisfaction of customer according to the customer needs and keeping an eye on what the customer need to plan a goal for future. And from this, Sunsuria can offer a high quality service development to differentiating from the competitors as the high interesting services provided. So from this, Sunsuria also needs to try and finding new way to improve the marketing efforts. So they will offer some low-cost development to their potential customer. And Sunsuria can use their own skill and experience during nowadays to gain new marketing in digital involvement. So that's all from me. Thank you.
So for the question part, we provide 3 questions, which is the first one is what is the Sunsuria Berhad project plan for the year 2021? For the second question is based on 2018, 2019 and 2020, which years have higher pre-tax margin? And for the last question is what are the 4 strengths that state in the SWOT analysis?
For conclusions, the majority of its revenue comes from property development. Sunsuria Berhad is a multi-award-winning Malaysian property developer focused on creating high-quality living and retail spaces for all. The analysis was carried out to examine Sunsuria Berhad's performance in the Malaysian market from 2018 to 2020. This analysis is critical for the business future forecasting. All the recommendation is focused more on the company competitive advantage and strategic planning to help business maintain and grow in the market.
So for the appreciation part, I would like to thank to Dr. Abdulmana for giving us the opportunity in learning how to write and evaluate audit reports. All the guides from Dr. is greatly appreciated. Also, I would like to thank all my group members for successfully complete strategy audit report. All cooperation is greatly appreciated in the completion of this audit report. Good jobs. So that's all from our group. Thank you and have a nice day.